Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. If this is your first time in attendance, which I do know it is some of your first time in attendance, please consider hitting the subscribe button before you leave our kingdom. I do talk a lot about pageantry over here, but I have also taken a liking to eradicating the internet of false information and internet misogynists who like to bash women, give false information. And it just so happens that two of my favorite subjects have decided to converge in this video. And it's just sending me into a fit. Recently, the pageant community has had to cope and deal with the devastating loss of one of our most beloved queens, Miss Cheslie Kryst, Miss USA 2019, which I did attempt to do a video on, and I didn't do well. I uploaded a video to the Patreon. It was all of 6 minutes because that's all I could tolerate, and I could barely get through that. It upset me. It affected me, and that's why I didn't want to talk about it. For the first time ever, I experienced a loss that manifested itself in anger. My form of grieving turned out to be very angry. I was angry at the circumstance of her death. I was angry at the people who were using her death as some sort of opportunity to air their own personal grievances or to have these discussions that really had nothing to do with Cheslie. I was angry at people who wanted to sit there and guess and assume why she met her demise, and like people who didn't even know her, they were just going too far. And I'm including even YouTubers in this. And I understood that if I did speak on the subject, that I was probably going to lash out, that I just was going to be upset, because I was upset. I was upset at everyone and everything having to do with her death. So I decided to be quiet so that I wouldn't stir up some things, so I wouldn't lash out. Now, some people do and still deserve to be lashed out at, but usually I possess the ability to harness my own frustrations and angers and express them in a way that's understandable and rational. And I didn't truly feel rational when it came to Cheslie. So in an effort to just not start more problems, I decided to be quiet because I wasn't exactly sure what I was gonna say. But this video has forced me into discussing not only Cheslie, but this displaced cave troll who had the audacity to bring her up in this conversation, something that had nothing to do with her to begin with, a woman you don't know. By the way, I am wearing the wrong crown. Yes, this is a new crown, but it's the wrong crown. Welcome back, the crown of shade. And yes, we're supposed to be talking about fashion and positive stuff. That's what I had planned for the week. But Washington wanted to lose its mind with their crowning habits and the nonsense. And then I'm dealing with this misogynist. So sometimes I don't get to choose the topics that I want to do. I want to talk about dresses. And here I am talking about misogyny. So let's get into this. So the YouTube channel that I am pulling this discussion and footage from is Anthony Spade Reaction YouTube channel. He likes to focus his content on mansplaining the modern woman. And imagine my surprise when I came across this video that had Cheslie Kryst's face all up and through it, a known misogynist. And I'm like, well, what could you possibly have to say about a woman who is so recently deceased? This should not be anywhere within your realm of topics or categories. So of course I'm over here, I clicked on it and I'm looking at it.
Well, I came across an article of her mother. Her mother put out a statement earlier today. And when I seen the statement, I wanted to use this statement to elaborate, to explain to you guys what you're seeing in the modern women, right? All you see is a lot of attitude, but underneath that attitude and underneath this delusion that you see from them, there's a lot of other things that are going on with them.
Anthony said he wanted to take this opportunity to use Cheslie Kryst's grieving family statement as an opportunity to explain the plight of the modern woman. Her family has come out and said that she notified them of her ongoing struggle with depression shortly before her loss. Now, for one, this does point out to the issue that I had with certain members of the community coming out and guesstimating as to why Cheslie Kryst met her end. They knew nothing about why she felt the way she did. This was before her family said anything about her ongoing battle with depression. And this is why I wanted to keep quiet. It's because what I wanted to say was shut the hell up, because you don't know what was going on in her life. You don't know what this had to do with. And you had people running with these narratives as if she was bullied to death. And I'm just like, I knew, look, I'm trying not to get angry because I'm still angry about it. But this person goes into the spiel about high functioning depression and uses this situation and our beloved Cheslie as an avenue to point out why modern women are going to face depression because their standards are too high. In this video, he is equating Cheslie's depression with her being a woman who is 30 and is unmarried and doesn't have kids and doesn't have a man. And I'm just like, sir, you deserve to be backhanded. You deserve to be slapped. You deserve any and every bit of nonsense that's about to come your way for even making it seem as if Cheslie had her death had anything to do with a man. This had nothing to do with a man or you or none of this nonsense. And the audacity to use her photo, her face in a discussion to not only bash her, but any woman who identifies with her, any woman who has high standards, any woman who is ambitious, successful, pretty, you're using this as an opportunity. Do not use people's deaths as an opportunity for anything other than remembrance.
When it comes to the high functioning depression, this is what you're about to see majority of the women have. Not all, because not all are seeking the same gratification, but majority of women are about to face this, where they appear very normal on surface, but behind the scenes, they're feeling just like Cheslie. The prettiest people in the world seem to be the most depressed, especially when it comes to beautiful women. Why are beautiful women the most depressed out of women, period? It seems like guys skip over the ugly girl to go to the pretty girls the same way women skip over the good guy to go to the bad ones.
Okay, see, this is why I don't like you men. This is why especially you men who want to mansplain womanhood to women. Shut up. This is a false equivalency and has nothing to do with itself. So let me explain women from a woman to a man the way it's supposed to be done. Pretty girls, if they are depressed, number one, depression can be about just about anything in the world. Like, it's not about our looks all the time. I don't know why men are so yes, we do know why men are so hung up on our looks. And to be quite honest, that is exactly why a lot of pretty girls get disenchanted with the whole viewpoint of men. This is why some of that so-called pretty depression happens. When you're a pretty girl, the men will dump other women just to get to the pretty girl. But the thing is, we know that you're just using us for our looks. We know you have no investment in who we are as people, what we say, our level of intelligence, just our being. You're only coming to us because we're pretty. And the pretty girls know that. So it makes them feel depressed because they don't like to be used. Typically, that's just not something humans like. But to equate that with,
this is the same as women skipping over the good men to get to bad men.
Excuse me, sir? Insecurity much? That's a self-report. The only men who are saying stuff like this are the men that are getting skipped over. And the only reason you're calling those other men bad is because you weren't picked. This is giving me such r/I'm a good guy, like good guys. Like, you ladies, we've all met that man or that boy who wants to say, but I'm a good guy, so you should be with me and you should give me this and you should be sleeping with me because I'm a good one. No, you're not, sir. And to answer your question, a lot of the times when you see women flocking to certain men, it's not because they have money. It's not because they just pick bad guys. Those men have confidence. Confidence is sexy. A lot of you men, Anthony, you're insecure and we can smell it. It's disgusting. It's worse than just like week old trash. It's worse than a rotting carcass. It is off-putting. Men who are not confident, we're not trying to be around you. It's like having a child. We have to baby you and hug you and rock you to sleep and make you feel better all the time. We don't mind doing it every now and then, but damn, grow a pair. Now, there can be a problem with men that become too confident. They become overly confident to the point where they feel like they can devalue and talk down to women. Those are the bad guys. And sometimes when we find out that the very confident man turns out to be a bad guy, it upsets us because it puts us between a rock and a hard place. Either we have to choose the substandard baby boy who's completely insecure and cries too much. We've got to fight with him all the time because of his insecurities, or we have to deal with the so-called alpha male, aka Myron Red Pillars, who think they can treat us any type of way they want. Either way, life sucks. So then we get depressed because of it. Because to be honest, we don't want neither one of y'all. You all suck. And in this analogy, I'm talking about the insecure men and the overly confident men, not all men in general, because all men in general don't suck. There's just too many of you that do, and it makes us sad.
At some point, when they go back to the good guy later in life, they appreciate him more. And the good guy has learned a lot more. It's the same thing when the bad guys go back to the ugly women when they get older, because they didn't find a way to make themselves successful. So they have to settle with the ugly duckling. That's just how it is as an adult.
How is it that you just answered your own conundrum? This is what y'all don't get it. This is men, you don't even listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. He said women eventually go back to the good guy and the good guy has learned more. That's why we went back to the good guy. The good guy educated himself, got a bit of confidence, learned some of his bad habits, and is doing better, and therefore he's more appealing to us. See that you just answered your own thing. And by the way, the only reason you're saying this guy is good is because you identify with him. You identify with the insecure, like loser, leftover guy that a lot of girls don't want because you haven't grown up all the way. You so-called good guys need to focus on your own internal issues, because it's not the entire population of women disowning you for no reason. There's something wrong there that you need to address. And once you address it, yes, they come back to you. No woman wants a bad guy. Stop putting that out in the world simply because we didn't choose you.
You would ask yourself, like, why isn't these women married? Why do they not have families? And why are they so combative? And why they just can't be in a relationship?
Because we don't want to be, Anthony. It's because we don't want to be. Believe it or not, there are some women in the world who do not want to be in a relationship. I have been in that point in my life where I could not be bothered with any man for any reason long term. You get 1 or 2 dates. If you're fun to hang out with, I'll hang out with you. I don't want to date. I'm not looking for a family and kids in the fairy tale right now. We have our own lives and ambitions and wants and needs outside of men. Imagine that. Do you not have the same? And the thing is, I've always been the type of woman who is a hopeless romantic. I've always wanted the family and the fairy tale, and I'm a serial monogamist. I never liked playing the field. My problem is, when I was even as a teenager, I've always wanted that. So even at a young age, even though I wanted it, it was not available to me because men do not have that level of maturity to be a one-woman man. And I'm not about to fight over you for nobody, okay? I will easily hand a guy off to the next woman he's talking to. I don't want that problem. I don't want that trouble. I don't want that struggle, so I'm not gonna try. We will wait until we are older so that we can find men who better match our needs and wants and visions of the future. Because let's be honest, when most of you guys are in your 22, 23, 25-year-old range, you're playing the field, you're lying, you're making babies out of wedlock, you're doing the most. Most good women don't want to deal with that. So they're gonna do one of two things. Treat you like a toy and not take you seriously, which some of y'all supposedly hate, even though that's how you love to act. Or we're just not gonna date, period, and we're gonna wait till we're older and you guys settle down a bit. This is the same reason I've always liked older men, because older men, they're over their hoe phase. They're not gonna give me trouble. They're not gonna land me in prison because I had to do something that shouldn't be. Like, look, y'all be getting me in trouble and I value my freedom in life.
That's what we're gonna be going over today, because this is why most women are suffering from high functioning depression. Most women are hopeless romantics, all right? They're never gonna get that knight in shining armor. They're never gonna get the Tom Brady in the gazelle look. They're never gonna get the suburbs white picket fence. They're never gonna be able to take pictures of their families and send them out through the holidays, or be known as the cool family at church, or be known as the cool family around the world. They're never gonna be there.
Oh my God, he is the personification of everything we don't like. This unambitious man. You have no goals in life. You aspire to nothing. You are entirely proving my point of you being one of the type of dudes that women would leave in the dust because you just bring nothing to the table. You have nothing to offer. You have nothing in your spirit or soul. You strive for nothing. He's over here saying women are never going to have the white picket fence, the lovely husband and wife and kids. And it's just like, this is reminding me of the women who talk down to pageant queens because they see it as impossible to be beautiful and confident and intelligent all at once. Like, this man is pretending as if it's a fairy tale. And it's just like, this is very common in pageant world. And you should know this, using a pageant queen as part of your content, sir. Disrespect. Let's roll through some beautifully married, wonderful women who are living their goddamn lives. Roll through Miss Universe, past pageant queens, all the past pageant queens, married with kids, living happily. This is not even a fairy tale for us. This is expected. Okay? These women get off stage and get engaged within the next 5-6 months, sometimes the next day. What do you mean it's a fairy tale? They're never going to have it. You're never going to have it. You can't see it in your future, but that doesn't mean we don't see it in our future. And this is why we're able to achieve things that you aren't. You see it as an impossibility. We see it as a sure thing. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Men like this, who see things as too far to strive for, too much to achieve, this is why we don't want to be with you, okay? This is why, because you're not willing to work with us towards our extravagant goals. We're going to go grab a man with some confidence, some pizzazz, some drive in his life, who's willing to help us achieve the things that you cannot imagine, sir. Why don't you try focusing on yourself and growing some confidence, okay? Join the pageant community. We will show you how. The queens preach all the time. It is completely possible to achieve these dreams. That's why they go on to do such and achieve so much. We can show you some things.
That their standards are extremely high. That's a form of depression that women are actually stuck to live out.
Our standards are extremely high. Our standards are extremely high. Why don't you just rise to meet them then? If we can get up there, why can't you? You see, this is just substandard men complaining that women won't come down and live in the gutter with them. But you can stay under my bridge, but I'm on my way to my castle. So you can either hop on the horse and be the prince you're supposed to be and join me in the kingdom, or you could stay as a bridge troll. But I'm not coming down there to live with you. And our high standards is not what's giving us depression. What's giving us depression is the fact that the cave trolls insist on being cave trolls. Why are some of you men so dead set on being gutter bunnies? Why are y'all so hardcore pressed on staying substandard men? Why do you not strive to achieve more? Do you not see it as a possibility for yourself, within yourself? Grow some confidence, for the love of God.
Women can tell you all day long, I'm happy being single. I'm happy being single. No, you actually need companionship. Scientists have proven this.
So human beings need companionship. Human beings in general, not just women, human beings. But companionship does not necessarily mean a relationship, sir. This is what I'm saying. Some of you substandard men, you're so focused on women. There's things outside of a relationship. Companionship comes from people that you don't sleep with. You realize that, right? Then I'm remembering the Myron Fresh and Fit video that I just did, and the answer to my own question is no. They actually don't realize that, because in that video, they said there's no such thing as platonic relationships with females. This is why you guys do not succeed at anything. I am not in a relationship right now, and I haven't been in a relationship for 4 years at this point. I have companionship. I have so many loving friends, wonderful people around me that I hang out with all the time. I get so much from them. They are not worthless because I'm not sleeping with them. I love my friends. You guys can see it on the family channel. Every time I go out motorcycling, I'm always with a giant group of people. I have so many friends. It is possible to get companionship outside of a relationship.
All right. Women need companionship in their life to keep from being depressed. This is how come, when women move to new neighborhoods, they can find friends fast. When a woman wants a new friend, all she has to do is compliment another girl, or they find a way to compliment them or share some type of trauma bonding story. Once they become friends with the new girl and they trauma bond with the new girl, they have a new best friend. Why? Because women always need the companionship.
Okay, so you're acknowledging that companionship comes from more than just a intimate, romantic relationship. So why are you making it seem like women are suddenly just going to be depressed whenever we don't have a man in our lives? You see the contradiction in these words in this video, but you want to sit up here mansplaining womanhood, which you don't even understand your own mindset. You don't even understand how you contradict yourself so many times in the same video.
It's just that now women are sick of being friends with women. As they get older, women want to be around less women.
You are wrong. So wrong. Entirely wrong. This is one of the wrongest takes I've ever seen on the entire YouTube platform. As women get older, we want to hang around with less women? Have you lost your mind? Roll through Margaret and Bree. These are two of my closest. I love hanging out with these girls. Totally different age ranges, and they are a bundle of fun to hang out with, okay? I can't wait to go to Street Vibes with you ladies. Like even Sabrina, hi, the ladies that are watching this. Ashley, they're all different age ranges. Like in what world do you think we're about to just disown our girlfriends? For what reason? Because of age? Usually with age, you want more friends because you already got the husband and you already got, the kids, and you just want women to bond with. Like, make it make sense. Who let this man have a mouth?
That's why you see so many 35 and 40-year-old women that are always by themselves. They're not hanging out with groups of women because they're hopeless romantics.
Do you just think I'm with a group of girls constantly? Like, I can't get a Starbucks by myself? Like, I just went to Cycle Gear and bought a new chain for my motorcycle on my own. Like, do you think that whenever we're outside of our gaggle group of girls, we're just lonely like that? This is just telling me a lot about your own internal struggles. And I am a little bit afraid for his mental stability. Like, are you okay? Anthony needs a friend, y'all. Somebody please be Anthony's friend, not me.
It's going to be almost impossible for you to get that knight in shining Tom Brady type of guy that walks into your life due to the conditions that the world is in. So most of these women now are battling depression because they are hopeless romantics and they know this.
Most of these women are battling depression because they are saddled with the prospect of settling for less or settling for nothing. And to be 100% honest, we're going to choose nothing. So for those of you men who are wondering, why are there so many single women? It's because if we are only given the option to be with some of you lackluster men, if you're the only option we have, we choose to be single. Okay? I want you to understand that. If Anthony was the last man on the planet, I am so sorry, human population, we are extinct. I am not helping us out. I would not be with Anthony if he was the last man on the planet. Women would rather be single than settle for less. And that is upsetting to us. But the prospect of settling for less or being trapped in a lackluster marriage with your lackluster self is worse. Like, honestly, I'm still struggling to understand that women can achieve so much. They can be so beautiful. They can be so highly educated. They push themselves to be the best they possibly can. Why can you men not do the same? Why? Can you not do the same? You are not held to the same physical standards as women. You are not saddled with the same blockades and barriers that women are. Why are you choosing to be lazy instead of striving for better and more? I don't understand. You expect so much from us, but when we raise our standards, you're over here crying, making dumbass videos, linking it to the pageant community, and now you got the sovereign on your neck.
All right? This is what women like Cheslie are going through. I'm talking about the pretty girls. You have to understand now, the ugly girls always have a better personality. The out of shape woman always has a better personality. They can deal with stress a hell of a lot better and a hell of a lot longer. Trust me.
Ding, ding, time out, time out, time out. This is where I stand up for my girls. These girls all compete based on beauty, based on elegance, based on poise, intellect, speaking ability. What do you mean they can't handle this level of stress? You do not understand the meaning of stress, okay? The women that, it baffles me because the women that he's talking about are pageant queens. The women that are, the pinnacle of beauty and everything men say they want, those are pageant queens. But us as pageant fans know these women compete under immense levels of stress. And the audacity for him to sit here and say, well, the fat, out of shape, ugly girls are the ones that have better personalities, when we all know these women also compete on basis of personality. Excuse me, did you just tell me Catriona has no personality? Did you just tell me Cheslie has no personality? You told me Zosie doesn't have personality. Fight me, sir. Abina has no personality. Throw hand. Like, this is, you did not research anything. So all of us pretty girls, this is including me, y'all. He just told me, I have no personality. Anthony, you're embarrassing yourself.
But when it comes to the pretty girls, their expectations out of life are far beyond their imagination. That they start to realize like life is not a fairy tale book the older they get.
Number one, that's a contradiction. You have to be able to imagine your own expectations to be able to have them. Number two, I have a very fantastical imagination, and I have been able to achieve way beyond what I ever could have imagined. I've told people many times, I never expected to have a channel that would mean anything. I expected to have 100 friends and to be able to talk about pageants, and that was it. My imagination was me happily sitting here in my tiaras chit-chatting with my few friends. This YouTube channel has surpassed even what my own imagination was able to comprehend 2 years ago. And now my imagination has expanded and has grown to even encompass greater objectives and greater goals. And why are you bashing us for having this fantastic imagination that pushes us to better ourselves? Because had I only settled for what I thought I could achieve, this channel would never have grown. If I only settled for what I thought I could achieve, I would never be in, you would never have seen me in this kingdom. You would never have seen me in this castle. You never would have seen the muses. You never would have seen me out in the world meeting pageant queens. I never thought I would meet pageant queens or ever speak to pageant queens. If I had just settled for less, I would not exist the way I am today. I wouldn't even have white hair. The crown of shade would not exist. I had to strive for more, imagine more, grow, be greater, and really think and put this on myself that even though those goals seem very far off, it's possible to achieve those things. I feel like I'm having to motivate Anthony right now, like, baby, it's possible for you. Like the pageant queens that you guys love, you men love them, okay? They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, they're everything you want. These are women who before they were queens were normal girls who were sit there. Some of them have been very overweight before. Some of them have been poor. Some of them have gone through a lot. I've spoken to pageant queens who have been through domestic abuse. I've spoken to pageant queens who have been through immense medical trauma. They have surpassed all these different hurdles because they always believed in themselves that they could achieve what you consider to be outlandish. That was always within their sight. You could do yourself some good, and instead of bashing these women who have high standards, learn from them and figure out why your standards are so subpar. I would like to once again point out the fact that this has nothing to do with Cheslie, and for whatever reason he wants to connect this with Cheslie, and there's nothing related to Cheslie in this video except for you're using Cheslie to bash women. I'm not letting that go.
That they start to realize like life is not a fairy tale book the older they get.
Life is not a fairy tale book the older they get. Screenshot the sovereign with several crowns, with her kingdom background, with her theme of royalty living in a fantasy land over here with my muses. Like, sir, dream bigger because I'm over here living the fantasy. Thank you. And shout out to all the queens with the crowns on their heads who are living their fantasy as well.
Next thing that women are suffer from is that most guys only want to sleep with them and they know it.
Yes, we know it. We know men only want to sleep with us and we know it. Myron said the same thing, which I totally don't believe. There are several friends of mine who are currently watching this video that are men that are highly disputing everything y'all have said. I've had men come up to me in the bar who have seen that video and told me this is not how we think. So if that's how you're using women, that's also why we're not talking to you. But that's also why our standards are so high. Because if all you want from us is to use us, they're going to use you back. Okay. And if we have our fair picking of any man that we want, if they're all going to use us, we're going to choose the cream of the crop.
And when they make a couple of dollars, they got to spend the money to keep looking youthful. So now you got the BBLs. Now you got the plastic surgery. Now you got the makeup.
I just need you to understand that we look pretty largely for ourselves. Like, I'm not buying $300 worth of makeup because you know what my Dior foundation, like you don't appreciate half the stuff we buy. You're not going to appreciate my mascara. You're not going to appreciate how flawlessly blended my eyeshadow is. We're not doing multicolored looks for your ass. We're just not. I'm doing that mostly like for myself because of the creativity. But if I'm going out with my girls, I'll put on like a little bit more of a flashy makeup look because my girls will appreciate it. Because girls will be like, oh my God, sis, your makeup slays. The guys don't give a damn how nicely I shaded my indigo purple into a deep shade of navy blue. Like, you guys don't appreciate nothing. Stop thinking we're doing all this for you. I didn't decide to have white hair because I thought it was gonna make me look more attractive. Are you kidding? I really hope, honestly, I really hope people are not seeing me on camera and thinking I'm doing all that I do because some man out there is going to want to marry me. Like, my entire aesthetic is built off of making myself attractive to men. White hair? Really? For you? Get it together.
That's where guys are at now. They'd rather just sleep with you. They're not trying to get married. The simps are. The guy that she doesn't want is. And that's the part that terrifies women, is that they don't want to settle for a simp.
Oh, okay. So for the men who are actually attempting to use women or get women, can't say use, who are attempting to get women for more than just sex, i.e. marry them, for those men, they're simps. I'm putting two and two together. The men that are chosen over you, they're bad men. And the men who are treating women right, you call them simps. So you devalue any man who is giving a woman what she deserves. Noted. I guess we love simps, ladies. Simps, line up. You're the ones that are winning. And that these men are admitting it. They're admitting that the simps are the ones that are winning. So maybe there needs to be a YouTube channel teaching men how to be simps, because you're the ones that are getting the wives. You're the ones that are getting the kisses. You're the ones that are getting the texts back, because we ain't texting back these fools unless they're buying us like a really expensive bag or something. But we're using them. Simps, you're the ones winning in the world. I got a man on my phone right now who sends me good morning text, and he's very gentlemanly like, and he's very nice. And I'm sure Anthony would call him a simp. I guess I loves me a simp. Mom loves her a simp. Most of my girlfriends loves them a simp. I guess all you men that treat us right, you're simps, and keep on simping, baby.
The only type of women that are going to settle for simps are going to be like the strippers, the OnlyFans girls. They're going to be the ones that settle for the simp because they have to find rich simps. They have to find men who cannot control their emotions but have money so they can get the money out of those guys.
Wrong again. And I can't believe he said that. Okay, so the only women who would possibly, I'm flipping out here, y'all. So the only women who would possibly ever settle for a simp are the strippers and basically the low class women in his view. He's saying the low class women are the ones that settle for simps. And I'm just like, every pageant queen I know that's married is married to what he would consider a simp, aka a man who treats her right, a man who is there for her and provides for her and takes pretty pictures with her and gives her kisses and loves and hugs and all the, beautiful Valentine's Day flowers. All the pageant queens apparently are married to simps, happily married to simps. I don't know what you're saying, sir, because every successful woman that I know who is married to a good man who would bring them ice if their foot was hurt and they're stuck in bed, who would go to the doctor and pick up their prescription pills. Like, these are the men that you are bashing. These are the men that you are saying are losers. Your perspective is skewed. You are losing in life. You are losing in life. And to think we are only going to be with a simp if he has money, boy, let me let you know. I would date a simp if he had a city job, if he was just a homeboy with a dog and a 9-to-5 job. I would be happy. I would feel blessed. That's like, what do you think women want? Do you think we want footballers who push us around and yell at us and have no emotion and don't tell us that he loves us or cares for us? Like, you think we want emotionless men? I'm not saying we want a man that cries all the time, but we definitely want a man who's not emotionally constipated. I'm sorry. I gotta pause this for a second. Isn't Demi Neal Tebow married to Tim Tebow, an ex-football player? A man that these men would consider an alpha male, and yet doesn't he do all this sort of simpy stuff for her, and he's very nice to her and everything? I'm just like, I have so much proof that would call bullshit on this entire conversation. Because I know you're not calling Tim Tebow a simp, okay? I know you're not.
That simp is still going hyper when he sees a woman's booty, when he sees a breast, when he sees her look. But most men are looking deeper than the look now, and they're looking more into a woman's actions.
That's a lie. That is a lie. And you said it in this video. You said it in this video that women are becoming aware that men only want them for one thing. Men aren't trying to get married. And we've heard it in past videos. That is a bold-faced lie. Now he's saying men are looking deeper than the looks. Since when? Since when? Because we've been begging you guys to do that. That's half the reason we don't like you, is because you only look at our looks. You see what I'm saying? He's contradicting himself again. He's doing it again, and it's driving me crazy. I'm like, I feel like I'm going through the multiverse and I don't know it.
So guys are just kind of like, well, I know I don't want to get married. I know I'm not getting ready to have kids just based off the world that we live in now. Most guys fear having a daughter. That's one of the main reasons why they don't want to have kids. So they just want to sleep with the women.
You fear having a daughter because you know that somebody's gonna treat your daughter the same way you treated other people's daughters. That's called karma, babe.
Now we live in a world now where those simps have gotten smarter, and a lot of men have gotten smarter. So the simps that are still on the market that have the money are really, really weird simps, like no type of personality simps, and that's what women are left with. That's very depressing.
You mean you? We're depressed because we're left with you. This monotone, freaking nonsense, lack of researched video. And yes, I find it depressing.
That's very depressing when a woman feels like her value is extremely high and the type of guy that she wants, she'll never get. So being that she'll never get the guy she wants, she'll never live out the life that she want to live. So a lot of them are just like, why am I here? That's what they're going to face in 2022. You're going to see a lot of people that's going to ask themselves, like, why am I here? What is there left for me to do on this earth? You got to have an imagination. You got to be able to think and reinvent yourself as a person in order to create a new life. Most successful people know this. But a lot of women, I told you, they don't have an imagination. Not too many girls have an imagination.
Excuse me, Mr. We're dreaming too high. Our standards are too high. Clearly, we have an imagination if we're able to dream up standards that you can't meet. But what the fuck? He straight up said most women don't have an imagination. Are you for real? Are you serious? We don't have the capacity to reinvent ourselves. Number one, a lot of people in 2022 are going to be saddled with depression. We went through a quarantine. We went through a pandemic. It has had a severe impact on people's everyday lives. We have children who haven't attended school in 2 years. We have people who haven't had interactions with their loved ones, their family members, who haven't had the ability to have a relationship because every place that we would congregate as a people has been closed. We have been unable to get close to our peers, our neighbors, our friends. People are going to go through depression because of everything we have struggled with since 2020. And you're seeing this manifest itself in the labor shortage, which is people coming out of their jobs thinking about, how do I want to spend my life? I don't want to spend my life working for someone else, and they're pursuing their goals and they're pursuing their dreams. They're figuring out what they want to do with their lives in the world. A lot of times, depression has a lot more to do than just a lack of a romantic relationship. And he kind of discusses it accurately in this one little segment where people need to reinvent themselves and find their own meaning and purpose in life. And they need to have an imagination to figure out what they want to do with themselves. Absolutely. But then to completely cut half the population from that ability and saying women don't have the capacity or imagination to do so. You're going out of your way. You're taking the mother freaking back roads just in order to be insulting towards women. Like, you're going so far out of your way to make sure that you punch women in this video because logically it makes no sense.
They're going to come to a realization of this as they start to pile on the weight and they start to look in the mirror. They start to see the wrinkles. They start piling the makeup over the wrinkles. And then they start looking at their options and they're going to realize all the real dudes are gone. And you're just left with simps that you don't like. So now it's like, I got to find the simp that has the most money now so she can settle. That's where they are at. But not too many are going to lower their standards unless they start getting fat. If she's still out here 35, 40 years old, in the gym, eating healthy, looking good, her depressed levels are going to go high if she doesn't have an imagination. Most women can't think, they're not really artists. They don't come up with new ideas to do things. They just get freakier in bed, pretty much.
I'm sorry, you just called out my mother, who is in her mid 40s. My mother's 45. And she still goes to the gym, and she still like goes on motorcycle trips with me, and she still takes care of herself, and she's one of the happiest people I know. The only time she gets depressed or upset is when men are throwing off her happiness, because she is naturally very happy and bubbly and bouncy. And what the hell are you saying? What are you saying?
Much. The older they get, the more freakier they get in bed because
the older they get, the freakier they get because they have more experience and confidence, because they've been at it longer. This is just clearly coming from a man who hasn't experienced much.
All right. And I just wanted to go ahead and break that down so you guys get a good idea as to what you're seeing in society with modern women just based off of Cheslie Christ. And this is a sad story because she's Miss America. Like, you wouldn't even expect her to go through it, especially after knowing that every Miss America before you is married with children.
Shut up. This is what, see, I could never see you in person. I would be throwing things. I want to throw things. Like, I want to throw hands right now. I kind of want to throw hands right now. Oh my gosh, be a good girl, Davonna. I know some of my pageant queen friends are like, yes, Davonna, you can be a good girl. I'm being a good girl. You see me? I'm being a good girl. I'm trying to like be a good girl. He just, number one, you just called a Miss USA, Miss America. If that ain't a motherfreaking insult, oh my God. You just called a Miss USA, Miss America, proof you haven't done any research. Pageant fans, let him know. Pageant fans, let him know. You just called a Miss USA, Miss America? You did no research for this video. You don't know a damn thing. And then once again, to contradict yourself, to be like every pageant queen, prior to Cheslie is married and has kids, which I'm pretty sure Deshauna still doesn't. Either way, you just said all these women who have high standards and have high hopes and want the white picket fence, they're all married and have kids and stuff. They do. And they just proved you wrong by doing so. Because you're saying all these women with high standards are going to end up depressed and single. And most pageant queens aren't. Most of these women who you are saying aren't going to find happiness have happiness. They have the whole fairy tale. They have the whole fantasy. They're living their happy mother freaking lives, and they still look snatched, by the way. Olivia Culpo, you look great. Olivia Jordan, you look great. Look, the Olivias be slaying. They look great. Miss USA Florida, you guys know which Florida I'm talking about. She's engaged. I think she just got married, and she looks fabulous, and she looks very happy in a very successful relationship. Congratulations, babe, by the way. I'm happy for you. I watch these women pass their competitions, watching them blossom into the next phase of their life, into their next phase of happiness. Shandy Finnessy has been married for I don't know how long and has like 2 or 3 gorgeous kids and looks good as hell. Like, she looks damn good. What are you saying? Anybody who believes this nonsense, I can prove every moment of this video wrong. It is entirely possible for you to have the man that you want. It is entirely possible for you to have the life that you want. It is out there, but do not let these cave trolls, these substandard, insecure, subpar, worth nothing men, lack of imagination men, bring you down. Because the pageant queens have proven to you at every step of the way, not only are your dreams possible, the life you want is possible. Even after they give up their crowns, they are still teaching the lessons. And ladies, I appreciate you so much. I am highly unimpressed with this video. You had no reason to drag Cheslie into this whatsoever. At all. For any reason. This had nothing to do with her life, her story, or her death. So disrespectful as hell on that part. There's nothing that you can say to me that would justify her inclusion in this dumbass discussion. And yes, it is. This is a stupid discussion because it's just so much false information, so much contradicted information, and so much of it is so easily disproven. You just woke up one day and decided, I'm gonna use a Miss USA, by the way. USA, not Miss America, USA. Do your research if you're gonna speak on the pageant community, know what you're talking about. Clearly, not only did you not know the woman, you didn't even research her back history, her backstory. It is right there in her Wikipedia page. You wanted to use a beloved woman who is currently getting media and public attention to bash women. Shame on you, you despicable, disgusting human being, lack of a spine worth jellyfish ass cave troll. Don't ever do that again. I have purposefully not spoken about Cheslie, because I felt so emotional about her demise, how it happened, and how I saw her death being utilized for people's personal preferences and discussions. And I don't like it. So stop it. I have done my best to not say anything about it and to come to terms and to calm down and to mourn privately in my own way without lashing out at people. But this man deserves it. You deserve every bit of lashing out. You deserve it all. Because it was just disrespectful. And I'm at the end of the video, so I'm going to try, because I'm starting to become emotional because he went back into Cheslie, and it's triggering me because she doesn't deserve the disrespect from a person who didn't even have the due diligence to learn anything about her. We're fine. It's cool. In the comment section below, let me know what you thought about this video, the use of Cheslie Kryst, and how this did or did not apply to her subject or her demise. What do you think about the amount of contradictions in the video, or about this person's suggestion that women lower their standards? And if they don't lower their standards, then we will progress into a life of debilitating depression. Put your comments in the comments section below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you are not a member of the court, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I will be doing pageant content, as I always do. I love talking about other queens and their courts, but also we will be addressing issues and discussions about women, womanhood, some girly things, and the misogyny that continues to thrive on the platform. I guess I'm be playing maid this year. I do have a sexy maid outfit. It'll be fun. So hit the subscribe button and stick around. Remember, I love you and I will miss you, but you know I will be back in a future video. Bye.